Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I am back with another drunk book review. Today I am reviewing Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. This is the second book in the Wicked Villain series. So I did enjoy this book. I enjoyed it more than Desperate Measures, even though there were still some tropes that I didn't love, because y'all know how I feel about tropes. But overall, it was a good reading experience. I listened to the audiobook of it. I don't have a physical copy of any of the books yet, but I think I want to start collecting them because I think I'm gonna go through the entire series and I'm probably gonna enjoy all of it, right? I mean, it's Katie Robert, so I think I will. For today's drunk book review, we're gonna be drinking Stella Rosa Red. This is a berry flavored wine. Stella Rosa Black is also berry flavored, but I hate that one. This is the one that I like, so this should be fun. So like I said, I did enjoy this book. In this one, we are following Meg, Hades, and Hercules, which was an interesting turn of events. There are still some things that I feel were left from Desperate Measures that I'm curious about, but I assume that those questions will be answered in future books. I ended up rating this one 4 stars, and I did enjoy learning about everyone's backstory, although I wish that Meg's backstory had been a little bit more detailed. But overall, I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys romance, who enjoys smut, who enjoys Katie Robert, who enjoys retellings of Disney villains. It was a good time altogether. I will say though, there's a content warning for mention of sexual assault, so if that is something that you're sensitive to, this might not be the book for you. I can't say too much about this book without giving anything away, but I will say that I did enjoy getting to see how the underworld is operated, as well as have characters introduced from outside of Carver City. But other than that, it's time for spoilers, so if you have not yet read Learn My Lesson but would like to, this is your official spoiler warning. As always, we'll start with characters. I feel a little conflicted about Meg. I liked her when we were introduced to her in Desperate Measures, but then she helped betray Jasmine and that made me feel some type of way. And then in this one, I do like her. I still like her. I just hate the lack of communication trope so fucking much. Meg also falls into the I've had a bad experience in the past, therefore I'm destined for heartbreak trope, which I fucking hate. And then Meg and Hades together are super motherfucking dysfunctional. We did get some of her backstory, and unless I missed it, I don't think it was ever explicitly said what Declan had done and what deal she made. Maybe I missed it. If I'm wrong about that, definitely tell me, because that feels like a big detail to miss, but it's also possible because I was listening to the audiobook. As far as Hades, his backstory was super interesting. It was not at all what I expected. I figured that there would be a Zeus tie-in somehow, but I wasn't sure how it was gonna go, and then I appreciate not having Zeus and Hades be brothers, because then the Hercules thing would have been real weird. But I would have never guessed that he had a family before the underworld. I think I would like to know like how he started the underworld and how he gained power. I think that would be a really interesting story. And I don't dislike Hades, but he also falls into the trope where he's like, I'm a bad man and I don't know how to be better. Like I said with Jafar, at this point, all you gotta do is try. I will say though that at least he knows how to be tender, and I know it's a part of like their aftercare routine, but like he at least can show affection and compassion in a way that it seemed like Jafar couldn't, and I do appreciate that. So I like Hades more than I like Jafar, at least, which isn't saying much because I really don't like Jafar, but I also just don't like the possessive hero trope. So currently Hades is winning though, as far as the villains in Disney. So we'll see how that ranking continues later on. I really do like Hercules. I think he was just so cute and pure compared to Meg and Hades, and I liked his addition to their relationship because I appreciate how he was like, yo, y'all gotta talk, y'all got some shit to work out, and if I gotta be the one that anchors us, then I will fucking do it, because this is dysfunctional as fuck. And I hate the lack of communication trope, which is basically the entire first half of the book, because Meg and Hades are not communicating and they're both having complaints, but no one's speaking their opinion. So I appreciate Hercules for that. I think he's probably my favorite character right now, aside from Jasmine. So as someone who did not learn Greek mythology growing up, I kind of only know what I've heard from other people. And from my understanding, Zeus is a dick. So all of the things that were said about him in this book made sense to me because of what I had heard from other booktubers specifically. And I think keeping that persona, I guess, made a lot of sense. I loved getting to see Tink again. I know she has a book coming up and I'm really excited about that. I want to know who the fuck gave her a black eye though, because I really like Tink. She's also one of my favorite characters, and I'm interested to see what happens when her contract is up, as I don't think we know the details of her contract either, so that'll be interesting. Aurora was a new character. That was fun to see. I'm interested to get more of her story as well. I don't know if she already has a story written. We also saw Hook for a very brief moment, so I'll be interested to read that book about him. I assume that book will be both about him and Tink because the Peter Pan thing, but we'll see. Okay. So before I jump into the plot of this book specifically, one thing that I'm noticing as a recurring trend that I'm enjoying is that everyone's safe word has something to do with their story. I don't know why, but I just found it to be a really cool detail that I'm enjoying, and I'm interested to see what everyone else's is and how they connect. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but okay. So I don't read books with more than one love interest often, but one thing that I do appreciate and what I think is common for polyamorous relationships is that communication is necessary. So even though Meg and Hades were having their thing and Hercules kind of had to step in and be like, okay, like, get y'all shit together, I appreciate that communication is so important when there are more than two people involved. So that may have to be something that I start seeking out, because the lack of communication trope is just so fucking tired, and I just don't understand how grown-ass adults just can't use their words. Also, reading this book made me really want to rewatch Hercules. That wasn't a movie that I watched a lot as a kid, but when I did see it, I did like it, and now I think I want to watch Hercules this weekend. There was one detail from Desperate Measures that I was still curious about, in that Jafar had plans to expand his territory, and there was an assumption that he would go after Hook first. So I wonder if that's still gonna happen. I know that Jafar is still pissed at Hades for letting Ali kidnap Jasmine, plus now Jasmine has taken over her father's territory, so I wonder if that's still in the cards or if that was just before Jasmine staged a coup. So that was just one unanswered thing that came up with the political intrigue. I know that's like not the main part of the story, but I really enjoy the background plot that's going on aside from the relationships as well, which I think just makes the series a lot more interesting. Also, the last thing that I'm really enjoying about the series is that it seems like it'll be a pattern that the last like 5 chapters are really intense because shit hits the fan or something goes really wrong. And so far, I'm really enjoying that. So I'm interested to see how that plays out in the next couple of books. I am enjoying the series, and I think the further in the series I go, the more I'm going to enjoy them. So I'm really looking forward to it. So for now, those are all of my thoughts on Learn My Lesson. Let me know if you've read this or if it's on your TBR. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.